Them rocks.
This is the Bourbon Barrel.
He's totally right. It really is.
That's correct.
You're on the right channel.
And yeah, so we've got some Elija Craigs here as part of our continuing welcome back to the intro series.
So yeah, retrospective.
Yes, we this
Sort
was
of.
one of the things we tried on our very first show.
Yep.
Right here, the '94 regular Elija Craig.
But this one's a damn baby.
Yeah,
Small batch. Yeah. It's a little girl. It's tasty. I don't know, whatever. I just grabbed it.
yes,
I couldn't remember. Well, it's fine.
and it was the only one. Like I have one, it's not open, but this one was open. So what the hell, right?
And we kind of just learned that open versus non-open. We kind of learned
True.
the open.
If you check out the most recent thing that we just posted about the Evan Williams,
Put pressure on you to make
link
sure you
somewhere
put
over
that
here.
one on it first, because sometimes you can. We got a few episodes because we're going on hiatus for a little bit.
it's true.
But
But
we
yeah,
won't tell you why.
check that out. And there's a little
Watch
bit
the
of
1783 episode.
there's a little bit of a discrepancy between the freshly opened and the one that's been open for a while. And you'll see what we mean.
Just the fact that we had that discrepancy means that should, and it was very real. I think means we should possibly and probably do some either Lions battles or something where we do some more of those, because that really, to me, that was eye-opening. I've always heard about it, but I've never experienced it in the way that the bottle we killed had a little bit in it, and it would only open about 6 months. And then we opened a brand new bottle of the exact same thing, and it was noticeable. It hadn't been sitting for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's never in direct sunlight, none of that stuff. And it still had a noticeable, and we both kind of liked the one that was open because it open it up.
It
And,
had aired out and it had gotten.
but will it be that way with everything, or was it just that way with 1783? Would it be that way with Elija Craig? Would it be that way with barrel proofs because there's so much higher?
There's so much
proofs?
higher
It would-
content. It
And then
would probably-
mellowing out something that's even hotter seems like that might even have a bigger effect. The
True,
effect
true.
might grow. So I don't.
So that's
That's my
something to try.
ramble. So the rocks ramble.
So what else we had to go up against the OG Elija Craig?
Yep.
We're going to try the Rye, which is a newer release.
2020.
It's 2 years out. And they've started doing this. It's actually on a lot more shelves now. It's more prominent. A lot of places are going to Ryes, and we kind of touched on this in other episodes where it's a lot easier to make a tasty younger rye than it is to make a younger bourbon that's tasty.
Jesse, you've said that. Yeah.
So-
You don't have to age rye as long as
Mhm.
you do bourbon to get the awesomeness, whatever.
flavor.
You know what? I don't have to sound like I'm some sort of.
And then just for shits and giggles, we have the toasted barrel that I had that I love of Elija Craig.
Right?
And it's an Elija Craig product, so we're going to drink it because
Why not?
we like drinking.
That's right.
And we're good at it.
Pick up on that. You got some things to talk about.
So with that,
What do you want to start with, though?
I
Do we
think-
start with small batch,
I think what we should do is
or do we
we
start?
should start with the small batch and move to the rye because that's basically, this was just bad on.
Right.
So
The small batch would be a more subtle transition from the 1783s into small batch
I
because it's
agree.
very simple. I'll mention that again here on this episode, but so while he's unpopping,
I pop it like it's hot.
you. Anyway, we mentioned in the last episode. I thought I don't know. Probably other people know this too. Maybe it's like, is it one of those things that maybe is like not talked about? Like, do the other shows just say like it's just not like we don't have to throw out their.
We're not going to throw them under the bus in
Kind of
case they
shit
ever
under
get
the
to go.
or whatever. But Elija Craig's small batch is from Heaven Hill. Elija Craig is from Heaven Hill. It's a 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye at 94 proof. 1783 is 78% corn, 12% malted barley, 10% rye from Heaven Hill.
I didn't hear any differences there.
None. There are none.
Okay.
Yeah. Except for the proof, 94 and 90. So,
Yeah, so the
add
only-
more water to the 1783.
So essentially, this is a spicier version of Evan Williams.
I guess.
That's going to be fun.
Of Evan Williams 1783. I don't know what the mash bill is at 80 proof. But I wouldn't
Right.
be shocked if it's this mash bill
Yeah.
watered down to 80 proof. So
Why is it spicy?
I'm saying because that's so nice. So, like, what was the specific voice there? Is that something? Because my head went to Ghostbusters, but I thought that might have been too far.
I don't think
Or it was
that
Zool. I'm Zool. Like, you know what I
It
mean?
was amazing.
Yeah. Right.
No, there's like a bunch of TikToks and stuff, and this guy like puts up his eyeballs in his mouth after like something stupid happens with like a dog. Like this dog does.
Eyeballs in his mouth like Beetlejuice?
No. Like
Oh.
he like he'll like edit something where it's basically just all you can see is his eyes and his mouth on like a dog's face. So it's
Okay, yeah.
and then
Okay.
the dog just like sniffs something and just goes, "Wow, is that spicy?"
You're making me think now we should come up with something for a thing. We didn't dress up last year. We talked about dressing up,
Yeah.
but it was the beginning of everything. Like
That's
we were
true.
just, and you went through some serious shit last year,
Sometimes you go through some serious shit.
and you're gonna go through some serious shit in a different aspect
In
here
about
soon.
3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going under the knife. So
We've already discussed this.
yeah, watch the 1783 episode. I won't keep telling you that he's having penile reduction surgery. So is it experimental because people don't normally aren't born with that thing that you have? Because that could you might be able to write that off on some tax bracket thing when you do your taxes next year if it's an experimental surgery.
That would only be if I used it for business profit. Since I'm not.
We do need more viewers. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean
Just start the OnlyFans.
Bourbon Barrel OnlyFans. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's just gonna be Rocks over there just sipping bourbon, looking directly to the camera lovingly.
Shaking my head, drinking, and coming up with inappropriate jokes that he has to edit. So there'll be no show because I won't say anything that's okay.
That's fair.
The nose, I mean, it's a pleasant nose. It's light. It's fruity.
I feel like this one actually, is a lot sweeter than the Evan Williams was previously. I don't know.
And we're also doing a model that's open, and we just admitted that we like the openness better of the same stuff. We just discussed what we're drinking versus what we just drank.
So I don't think it tastes the same.
No? Oh, interesting.
But there's definitely more of a grain flavor to it.
It's hard to discern if it tastes the same or not because now I'm adding for proof in my head.
We just did that though. Like it went from 86 to 90.
I feel like this was softer and less rough than the 1783 was.
I agree.
Be it open or unopened.
Yeah. And the only difference, like, there's a big difference, and it's like something that I've never picked up on Elija Craig before is that I'm picking up a grain flavor.
And again, this one, the 1783 are both the flavor grain is malted barley, and I was saying to him, we don't see a lot of the flavor grain in most bourbons is rye. Rye is usually a secondary grain of corn. Very most often. I've heard this on countless things, including Jesse telling us, I believe, that rye is constantly, pretty much, this is the flavor grain. And you got your wheaters, and we were just talking about wheaters with Maker's Mark and Larceny and some other things, Weller.
Forbidden.
Yeah. So it's just, now I'm wondering too, what just happened a little bit ago and what just happened now sort of balance out, because with timing for us of what we just did was that, A, this is opened. The one that was opened in the past episode we liked more than the one that wasn't opened, and it was the same stuff. And we were doing an oxidation test. And at B, we waited maybe 10 minutes or something in between, whereas we tried something, then I tried the same thing later, and and there's like the time might have, I don't know, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but I've always loved the small batch Elija Craig.
Oh yeah, this is definitely one of my go-to
sippers.
I'm gonna take it to the couch with me.
He's taking it to the hospital for surgery.
I'm gonna take it to the casting couch with me on the OnlyFans.
You see, you're doing it now. Don't blame me for you're triggering me.
You opened it.
I did open it.
You opened Pandora's box.
I did.
And then it ended up on the casting couch.
It did. It ended up on OnlyFans. The Bourbon Barrel Pandora box on OnlyFans. Jeez. Nobody's subscribing to that, by the way. No.
It's been nice.
Blind people out there that are
nice knowing you guys.
Right.
So, we're getting demonetized and kicked off. It's fine.
We can be demonetized if we're not.
They can make us pay them, I guess.
Oh, you're great. Now we have a bill due. See what you did.
We did that. Said the words.
No, it's their fault. It's their fault. It's your fault.
This is why people don't like us, because we blame them for things.
Well, you're just gonna have to deal. All right, that's the world we live in now. All right.
All right. So this is something that we're gonna start doing more of, and we haven't actually done is rye.
Yeah.
So this isn't actually a bourbon. This is a rye.
Right.
Where the rye is the dominant grain.
Yes.
So that'll be interesting.
And I got this information, a lot of this information from the Whiskey Dictionary. Bill, you should check out his show. He's a really nice guy. He's interacted with us a couple times, giving us some good pointers and stuff. Really nice.
Definitely.
Elija Craig did what I want to. There's one other. It'll come to me, but they're just to do it and try it. It's 51% rye, so they can call it a rye. That's pretty much it. 35% corn, 14% malted barley. So it's
How much rye is in the normal Elijah Craig?
the normal Elija Craig is only 10% rye.
So you're jumping up by 41%.
Yes. 41% jump in rye, and the corn went from 78 to 35.
So this is basically
It should be a lot less sweet and a lot spicier.
interesting.
The barley went from 14 to 12, so
It's around the same.
I don't know that even at this point, going almost a year in, that I can really taste barley yet. I have trouble with things as it is, and I'm learning and getting better as it goes.
Maybe we'll just get some like beef and barley soup.
It sounds awful.
Oh, it's delicious.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's so good.
Put it on the OnlyFans page. I don't want to eat that at all.
Oh, it's so good.
It sounds horrible.
You like beef stew?
No.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I mean, they haven't been able to figure it out yet. All right, the tests are still pending.
Beef and barley is so good.
Here's something.
Like this video if you like beef and barley soup.
Here's something they said on. It might have been the Whiskey Dictionary, it might not have been. So Elija Craig is Heaven Hill. We discussed 1783, Heaven Hill, this and that, and yeah. Okay, now Heaven Hill has two other ryes. Pikesville, which Pikesville is
like
widely,
rye.
Yeah, people love Pikesville, right? It's just woo, Pikesville. If you like Pikesville rye, you might like rye. I think we have. All right. Well, yeah, I think you do too somewhere, but I don't know. And the other one is Rittenhouse. That's also made by. And they all Heaven Hill products, right? So I looked into this. Rittenhouse rye, Pikesville rye, and EC Elija Craig rye, all Heaven Hill, all 51% rye, 35% corn, 14% malted barley, all the same mash bill. And I thought, well, why are they different, right? Okay, so this is 94 proof. Pikesville is Rittenhouse is 100 proof. Pikesville is 110 proof.
So this is like that juice. Down.
Heaven Hill tends to do the same thing, same mash bill.
You know
water
what?
it down a little, call it something else.
To be fair, if you have something that works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
This is true. I mean, look at Jim Beam and Jack Daniel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it. And I hope we're not calling out Heaven Hill people and all of a sudden
we're gonna get a call, cease and desist, take it down.
When I saw this, I thought, man, that's awesome. I've never really heard this or put it together myself or have heard it because I watched the other shows, so therefore nobody else put it together that I heard on a show, and I'm like, that's awesome. Maybe, that's cool. We found something other people didn't find. Maybe they found it, and maybe they're like, I'm not gonna find it. Heaven Hill's a big place. We don't want them to
piss them off.
Yeah. Nobody's sending us samples of shit anymore. Like
we're small enough where it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's just so I'm not putting them down. We haven't said anything negative about anything.
We love everything they do.
Yeah.
So like, why? Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if it's the same mash bill and it works, why the hell would JJ saves that money
to a degree? Like if they figure something out.
Which is why you can find Elija Craig for a cheap price, Evan Williams for a cheap price, because they've already figured out the system, and then done. That's what it is. This is what we're gonna do. This is what people like, and if people like it, we're gonna make it.
I wish I knew the Three Amigos thing because I keep wanting to do this, and I know it's like boom, boom, boom. I gotta watch them. But like when you're doing that kind of stuff, because that's what I'm saying. Like you're saying what I was thinking, and you're articulating it better than I was.
That's because I've been drinking.
I'm glad I'll do it. I'm not articulate to begin with. So
I had to rye.
I have not poured.
I have rye. So this will be my first ever non-Doc Swinson rye.
Whistle Pig.
Oh, that's true.
Whistle Pig Roadkill or whatever.
Yeah, so this
Roadkill is like
Road Warrior.
Road something. It's Road Stock.
Road Stock.
Whistle Pig tends to use the word stock a lot because I think it's the pig and the stock, right? I think those two terms kind of go together a lot.
So I guess I lied. This will be my second non-Doc Swinson rye.
But we did like the Whistle Pig too, and we like anything Doc Swinson's. And then again, we have to. I want to say this. It has nothing to do with we like some more than we like others. And Jesse's just a nice guy, and
he's cool.
He explains stuff. He's really cool. We joke with him. We have a good time with him, and. I don't want to prop Doc Swinson's up like nothing will ever defeat it in any way, shape, or form. Like, I mean, it's not everything, you know what I mean? But anyway, no.
But you do have to remember,
because I just called out Heaven Hill, and now I'm like, because Doc Swinson doesn't do that, Heaven Hill. Like, you're a bunch of douchebags.
No. We love Heaven Hill.
Yes.
But you did remind me that I do have to send him some new loose samples.
Okay, cool. So. Do that. That's a good idea, I think. And we're gonna do barrel after this. This isn't gonna go well. The barrel one. By the time we get to the barrel one, because that's big. Like,
so I do smell the rye, which makes sense because it's 51%.
But you know what? It's not like abrasive.
It's not. No, it's not like harsh. A harsh. Like ooh, that's bitter. Like, it's not a bad nose, especially for a rye.
And this was the same price point too, guys. I got this for this, and this is the littler one, but the $7.50 in our store is exactly the same as small batch, like $26.99. Exact same price.
Which makes sense because, as Jesse said, you don't have to spend as much time on ryes. Like it can be a 2-3 year rye, and it has the same like flavor palette, like consistency as like something that's like a 7 or 8 year old bourbon. Which is like the sweet spot for bourbons is like anything between like
Sweet, yes,
8 and
sweet
10.
spot. That was beautiful. And that's, I'm not even making an inappropriate joke. It was just the way you put it. Like I was like, the way you were saying it, I was like, but it's, and then you said it. And it was
because like a 2 year bourbon, that's kind of rough. A 4 year bourbon, 6 to 8 years, you're getting better, and then 10 years, like an Eagle Rare, it's delicious.
You know, but I haven't heard great things about, Elija Craig has an 18 year, right?
Yeah.
I haven't heard great things.
No.
Everything I read is like too woody, too old.
And that's the thing, is like,
just
how long is too long? And we've experienced that ourselves with that 3-liter barrel we did where I left it in too long and it tasted awful.
We did. When you say anything with a huge large, when you said 3-liter, I was thinking of that Johnny Walker. I immediately clicked it. I was like, oh, he's going to that. Like he's going to mention that Johnny Walker thing.
No one's going to mention
that. Is still, whether you say think it or not, not something we should drink, but that's still an awesome set piece. Nobody else has a set piece where the bottle's like 19 feet tall.
If you want one for yourselves, you go to the duty-free store in Canada and bring it back with you. That's the only way you're going to find one.
That's huge. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, it's a spicy nose. Did you taste?
I did. Going back to that Kentucky Hug.
Oh yeah, I got the rye. I immediately got the rye.
Definitely picks up on the rye, but again, there's not a.
But it's 51% rye too. Like they made it that 1 point, so they can. I'm not looking at them enough. I keep looking at you this time. Like,
well, it's fine. I'm here.
It's been a year. I know. It's been like 1 year, but like, I tried for like a year to make sure I was doing a good job staring into the internet uterus here. Like I said that in one of the first few episodes, and it's so fun. Anyway, do you still see the ring? Look, the ring. Is it up there? Do you guys see it?
I've hidden the ring. All I can see is the other lights.
Oh, yeah, it's like
it's like the Star of David.
Cosmos or some shit.
Yeah, Cosmos. There you go.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I am Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
That's not it. Who's Cosmos? Cosmos was
the dog.
No,
Cosmo was a dog in something.
The Cosmos series was
a series?
That was a series of Cosmos. It was that guy who trained like Neil deGrasse Tyson from the 70s. What the hell's his name?
It's not
coming to me. I know who. Carl Sagan.
Oh,
Cosmos.
Good. I was going within the wheelchair guy.
No.
And I couldn't think of his name. Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, that's the one. But that's neither here nor there. Right. Here we go.
This is probably one of the better transitions into rye because it's 51% rye. It's not.
Like, I would be hard pressed to tell you that's not a bourbon.
Right. I would just say I can taste the rye.
I'd say that's a very rye bourbon.
Yeah.
But it's a rye, so that makes sense.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. It's definitely a quality product. They've done good. They've done their homework. They've done their research. They've done good work.
Right. I agree. And again, a good transition rye.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should go from if you love 80 and 90 proof bourbons to a Whistle Pig that's 100% rye that's been aged for 10 years or something like. Because then that's night and day. I think we're transitioning into dusk and things of that nature.
Absolutely, no.
So
that's a great way to put that. It's you can taste that spicy rye flavoring, but again, you still have those notes of like a bourbon. So it's
don't taste any sauteed butter. Just the word or off dry, regal finish. I love that, like. And again, it's just creative, but it's also buzzwords, and Jesse's great at the buzzwords too, and it's because he's smarter than,
Well, he's got a marketing department too.
Yeah. But it's always like somebody has something. It's just, they just come up with a word. They literally just Google, like, what word is a synonym for this, so I can use that word instead of this word or whatever, probably. But off dry, like, this is wet. You don't say, really, is it wet?
It's off dry.
You mean we're not snorting it because it's dusty? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean it's off dry? Like, it's a regal finish. I don't even know what that means. Like, you taste kings and queens at the end of it. You're like, oh, Zeus or something.
Well, so I'm gonna go a little.
We're going down Toasty Barrel.
Oh, yeah. That's also
this is dangerous.
But
this is only 94 proof too, right? It is.
Yeah,
They tend to.
they like the
What's the
proofs.
Elija Craig at 94 thing? I wonder.
We'll have to ask them one day if they ever try this.
Okay, so and it's not.
So
I'm gonna have a very little sip of this because I didn't even know we were doing this.
anyway, with the Regal and the butter, so there is a disease called gout, and it is called the king's disease because it's from rich foods. So Regal will imply to me that it's very rich in something. Like butter is a rich food.
Finish.
So if you're saying that there's like buttery notes, the Regal is just another way of saying buttery. That would be my guess. But hey, I'm not in the marketing department with a thesaurus.
With the thesaurus. I mean, a thesaurus. Like anyway.
My wife. There's a joke. My wife said that I stole her thesaurus.
Right.
I was appalled, shocked.
Right. And it, yeah, all right.
It's funny.
It's
I was appalled, shocked.
I've seen the meme of dinosaurs, and the dinosaur says all these words, and he goes, "Oh my god, it's a thesaurus," and he walks away or something. You know. Anyways, this is toasted barrels.
This is the toasted. This is how Jan is toasted barrels.
This is
what we love. So.
Let's calm down a hair, Basil Hayden. But all right,
yeah.
I'm going to put the caveat in there. Not saying I don't love it, like it, any of that stuff, because I do, and I did, and I still do, and I'm fine to drink it because it's yummy as shit. Was I supposed to know that? Because I didn't.
Talk to his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the one thing that I should bring up about toasted barrels is that it's not a charred barrel. This is basically like they let the fire hit it, and it brings out like those vanilla and caramel notes, but there's no actual char.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, this is put in like new age charred or new American charred oak barrels to become a bourbon, and then they re-barrel it into a lightly toasted, not even charred barrel.
Right.
And that's where you're picking up a lot of that darkness and those notes from is from that second barrel.
It's still yummy.
Oh,
It's got that body. As soon as it hits my tongue, it's got that effervescence, that thickness, that warmth that these other things didn't quite have.
Yeah.
It kind of just accentuates all the flavors, and yeah, you get all the, like, when I talk about toasted or barrel proofs, depending on which one or whatever, is the only time I ever even think that I taste cherry. I hear cherry a lot in other shows from other people, but for me, it has to be those either higher or more toasted or more barrel things before cherry kicks in with me. And cherry's like right before too much wood and tasting wood or something like that. That's me.
Would be a really cool thing to do for some company if they want to sell a bourbon at like $100+ a bottle.
Naked slip and slides?
No.
Oh.
But we'll put that in column
with
B.
bourbon on the slip and slides? No? All right.
No, I was thinking like if they created a bourbon and then they had a cherry barrel, like a barrel made out of cherry wood.
Probably somewhere.
I don't think so. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, I've never seen it either, but
I think that would be a cool experiment for someone to try.
Cherry. Do they put cherries in barrels, or you're saying they should put cherries in?
No, I'm saying like a
Or
cherry wood barrel. Like a barrel made out of cherry
right.
wood, not a new oak barrel.
Do they ever make any barrels out of cherry? I don't know. Is it too soft or hard? Insert joke.
Oak and cherry are both pretty decent wood. Like you can make like tabletops and stuff out of either cherry or oak, so I would assume you can make a barrel out of both.
Okay. Interesting.
That'd be a fun thing to do. And it'd be a very expensive bottle of bourbon, I'm sure, because cherry wood is very expensive.
Well, there you go then. So that maybe that's why they don't do it, because the price point would hit too high and people would be like...
I think it would be a fun thing to do for like a batch or two. But that's just me.
I mean, I'll try anything once, twice, or 3 times.
3 times if I'm lucky.
That's right.
All right. Well, with that, I don't have anything else about Elija Craig. Do you?
Other than we should pour it on a slip and slide down it naked. No.
That would be on the OnlyFans page.
Fair enough. All right. Good. You guys should try that and let us know how it goes. Would it get too dry because, like, bourbon is so much alcohol? Would you, like, eventually, like...
So here's the real question. Like, you know how you
scrape
sweat?
Your shit?
Like, your skin is the largest organ on your body.
True. Right.
And it absorbs, like, your sunscreen and things like that. So
right.
if you go down a slip and slide with bourbon, are you going to get fucking wasted?
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Great, you made it better. You just made it better. My idea was stupid because it was just me rambling, and he just was like, "Let's turn this into a real idea."
This
Because
is something that like that guy who used to work for NASA, Mark, who has a YouTube channel, should try.
you're saying, how many times do we have to slide down the thing before it starts?
Before you just start getting wasted.
And how long would it take to seep into your before it reaches your because of the metabolization and all that?
I feel like this would be a lot easier if you were just allowed to like soak yourself in like a vat of bourbon. See what happens. I'm sure it would like dry you out because it's alcohol. Like that would be
sure. Yeah. I think drying me out's the least of my concerns. I'm thinking more about
the
the next time
burning.
I pee and it burns for the next 3 days. Like, because that sounds horrible.
But just like saran wrap your
Just
special parts.
But no,
I don't know.
that's way off the rails. And we're up with 115 proofs
Outstanding.
after this.
Well, I am neat.
Everybody we know is gonna be like that barrel episode you did was the funny. I'm not even sure what you guys drank,
I
but
don't know what
man,
you
you
did,
guys
but
were
you done got
hilarious.
fucked up.
Yeah. And now there's warnings on your show and stuff like that. Sorry, he's neat. I'm Rocks.
This has been the Bourbon Barrel.